Yeah, hey Mike. My name. I was calling about Sales Script. You guys do outsourced sales training and consulting for companies in Texas, or you go all over the country?
Well, we do. Is your question where we provide it or what we provide?
Yeah, no, I was on your website. I was just making sure that I was in the right place. That you guys do outsourced sales training and sales consulting for companies.
We do.
Okay, cool. The reason I asked, I had companies in Texas, and all over the country. I don't know how far your outreach is that are actively looking this week for outsourced sales training consulting services. Is that something that you or someone on the team would want to take a look at?
Would they need like live in person on site?
Yeah, so I work for, I don't know if you've ever heard of our company or not. I work for a business called, does that ring a bell at all to you?
Sure.
Oh, it does? Okay. We show you businesses in your total addressable market that are actively in the research stages for the needs for your solutions, and then give you cell phone numbers, email addresses to reach out and get in front of them. So I don't know if that fits your business model or not. You tell me. But if we could show you companies in Texas today that are looking for sales or researching sales training and sales consulting outsourced solutions, is that something you'd want to get in front of? Or
No, I mean, we have a full pipeline. We're not looking to do cold outreach.
Gotcha. So yeah, new business isn't really a priority right now, you'd say?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll maybe follow up a little bit down the line and see if you'd want to take a look at these companies and see if they'd be good fits for you guys.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right, so a really good cold call example there to reflect back on, think about what went well, what could have been better. And overall, I think the salesperson did a pretty good job. There was some really questionable stuff in there. I'll touch on that a little bit. But I want to focus on just three changes that we could make that would improve this salesperson's approach. And the first is to improve his cold call opener, his cold call introduction. And in order to create some of the recommendations that I'm going to share here, I went through our sales message brainstorming process for the product that this salesperson sells. And that process allowed me to create all of these different talking points. I'm not going to explain this process in this video, but I'll include a link in the description if you want to go through this process for the product or service that you sell. But if we go back to his opener, he starts out with the purpose for his call, and he does something which I really like here, which is he starts out with his value proposition. And his value proposition was that he basically has a list of people in my area looking to buy what I sell this week. And that's a really strong value proposition. So I really would not change that at all. And that's so strong that right after he shares that value proposition, he does what I refer to as the quick close. Is that something you or someone on your team would like to take a look at? Now, if you have a value proposition that's that strong, basically saying I have a bag of money, do you want to see if it belongs to you? No problem with the quick close. The problem I have with this is that I'm pretty familiar with what this salesperson sells, and I don't think he's being completely honest with what he's saying he has. I think it's a little bit of a bait and switch, but I could be wrong. But if I'm right, my first advice would be never mislead the prospect in order to get the meeting. And the tips I'm going to show you here today and in all of our videos lead you to communicating in the most powerful, clear way without ever being misleading, inauthentic, or dishonest. But if we assume that you probably don't have a value proposition that's this strong, and if we assume that his might not be completely honest, let's look at how we could improve his cold call opener. And what I would recommend is that he still opens with his value proposition. And so here's a modified value proposition that I created for him. We help businesses to see prospects that need their services and have accurate contact information for their target prospects. And with this modified value proposition, instead of the quick close, I'm going to do a sales takeaway, but I'm not sure if you need that or not. If I could ask you real quick, and then I transition to asking some questions, which takes me to the second area where I think we can create improvements for the salesperson, which is optimizing the questions that he asks. And most of the questions that he asked on the call could be classified as closing questions. And they're not bad closing questions. My only concern here is that there's other questions that you can ask before you ask your closing questions, such as you could ask pain questions. How do you feel about knowing which businesses in your area are actively purchasing what you sell? How do you feel about having good quality contact information for your reps for the businesses that they're trying to get meetings at? He could also ask current state questions that try to figure out what we're doing in the area where he has something to sell. Do you have sales reps on your team that are performing outreach today? Where do your reps currently get contact information from when they're prospecting, when they're doing cold calling? These questions will not only help to pre-qualify the prospect to see if the prospect is even in the general area of needing what you sell. These questions are designed to help identify a concern or need that the prospect has. And when you identify that creates a justification in talking more. And the third area that we can look at is the objection that came up and how we responded to that. The objection that I gave him is that we don't basically need what you sell, which is some version of we're not interested in what you sell. And so he responds to that by basically saying, oh, so new business isn't important for you right now. But another option for how to respond to we're not interested or a lot of other objections is you can just deflect back to your pain questions. The same list of questions that are at the core of our cold call script or at the center of our cold call, we can go back to if the prospect says, I'm not interested, or we're already using someone today. Okay, yeah, I understand. How do you feel about your ability to see the businesses that are actively purchasing what you sell in your geographic area? So when you ask one of these questions, most likely you're going to get a response. And then you can follow up that response with a follow-up question or a different question, or based on the prospect's response, your prospect may give you an answer that helps you to identify a need, a concern, or a pain, and you can use that as a justification for going back for your close again. And in the same way that you can deflect with your pain questions, you could also deflect with current state questions in the exact same way. So they say, we're not interested, or we don't need that today. Okay, if I could ask you real quick, do you have sales reps performing cold outreach today? Again, at which point you're going to get an answer. And when you ask these deflection questions, it's very unlikely that the prospect is going to put their foot down and say, listen, I told you I'm not interested. Because these questions are very conversational and they do a very good job of keeping the conversation going and possibly helping you to identify a reason to talk more. You could also deflect to your pain points. Prospect says, we're not interested. Hey, I understand. We work with a lot of small businesses and they often have difficulty knowing which businesses in their geographic area are actively purchasing what they sell. And it's difficult to find good quality contact information for the prospects that they're trying to reach. Have you experienced either of those, or do the reps on your team have challenges in either of those areas? And so again, what we're looking for here is some sort of response from the prospect that provides a justification and a reason to talk more. And so that is just 3 ways of taking these talking points and tweaking and modifying that salesperson's approach that should create a positive improvement in his results. Now, these steps in this process creates these sets of bullet points, and those sets of bullet points can be used to create what we refer to as building blocks, and you can mix and match those building blocks to create a lot of different sales scripts and documents. For example, you can create a cold call script. I showed you here how we can use those same blocks for our objection responses to we're not interested, because you can deflect most of the common sales objections to different parts of your cold call script. We can also use those blocks for the appointment that we're trying to schedule this prospect for. We can use those blocks for email messages, voicemail scripts, and a lot more. And this concept of mixing and matching these building blocks to create a lot of different documents is actually where I originally got the idea for Sales Scripter, is when I was working with my clients and I identified that if I have a set of benefits and pain points and questions, I can mix and match those to create a lot of different documents. So in Sales Scripter, there's an area here called the Sales Message Builder, and this is software taking you through that step-by-step process to create your sales message. This process helps you to create an optimum set of benefits and pain points and an optimum set of questions to ask based on the pain points that your product helps to resolve. And once you've gone through and created your sales message in the software then mixes and matches those blocks to give you all these different cold call scripts and sales scripts and email templates. Here is actually one of the scripts that the software generated for this salesperson. Here's the cold call opener with the value proposition. Here are the pain questions. here's the response to I'm not interested. And what the software is doing is it's basically mixing and matching all those different blocks to give you this entire cold call script, objection responses, voicemail scripts. Now, one last thing I want to show you that could potentially help you is that having a good sales pitch and a good script is critical, but it's also critical to be prepared and to know your pitch and to practice. And we've provided a tool to help you with that called Sales Simulator, which is an AI-based tool that allows you to actually role play and practice your script with a Siri or an Alexa type of software or prospect.
Hello, this is Mary.
Hi, Mary. It's Michael Halper with Sales Leads. Did I catch you in the middle of anything?
What is this in regards to?
Well, reason for the call is we provide verified contact data for cold outreach.
I think we are okay right now.
Okay. Are you guys doing outbound prospecting?
We are not.
So as you can see, a really good tool that allows you to practice your questions, practice your objection responses. So check it out if you get a chance. And that is pretty much it for this video. If you want more information or more tips, the best place to go is salesscripter.com. Thanks for being here. Hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.